Good morning, Shayne Mostyn from Shayne Mostyn Photography. Now,
Morning.
2017, we sat down in the lovely town of Cohuna. Can you cast your mind back that far?
We're in the bower, weren't we?
We were the Bower,
Yeah.
and we had a lovely chat because everyone said you must go and meet Shayne. And I wrote a story about you, and it was published in my book.
That's right.
In the creative section. I'm thinking now I should have put you in the agile section, but every story has multiple facets to it. And I rang you again, and I think it was about February 2020 when the book was getting ready to go to the publisher. And I said, Shayne, what's happening in your world? And you said, shh, I can't really tell you. I've got something very exciting about to happen.
Yep.
And I said, well, that sounds interesting. I must talk to you again. So here we are, wind on, nearly 2 years later, we're finally having the catch-up chat. And the reason that I was prompted and reminded about this chat was I saw your 50,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes.
So before we launch into all about that, just obviously people can read the story for themselves, but your passion is photography, particularly, is it Astro? Is that how you describe it?
Astro photography.
Yep. You're in that beautiful township of Cohuna, lovely clear skies, and you were really enjoying that and introducing different elements of photography workshops using phones, mobile phones, which we all use for photography. So that was your business. And then you launched into this. So there's a little bit of an intro. So what prompted you prior to a pandemic? So obviously you'd already thought about it to take this pathway.
Well, it was because we're in a small town, and that's one of the hurdles that anyone in a small town has when it's something that's so niche as astrophotography or even just photography. At some point, you're going to saturate the market as far as the local townships are concerned. So I needed a way to move that knowledge base, that part of my business online. So I thought, well, we pretty much anyone in town who was going to do my workshop had done it, and I needed to branch out. So I looked at starting to go like traveling to Melbourne or things like that and physically needing to be there. And I was watching a friend of mine over in America, and he started a YouTube channel, nothing to do with photography. And I thought, well, that's not a bad idea. So I started researching, and everything that I do, regardless of what I do, I could buy a new car or a new bike or a new camera, and I'll research that purchase or that business venture or whatever it is. I'll research. And I decided to do a YouTube channel and to take things online. And I tried to work out how to make money from doing that. And I put a plan down and I kicked it off. I think my first video was in April, I think it is, in 2020. So the timing, as far as what happened in the world, couldn't really have been better for that.
You're psychic.
Well, I'm really not, but it just worked out that way. And the timing was just perfect to take what I was doing online. There were a lot of people around the world who were stuck in their homes and weren't able to get out and do what I was able to do, because even during lockdown, I could still walk out to my backyard and record some spectacular nighttime videos of how to do astrophotography with your phone. And it's just blown up. It's just got incredibly good.
So you talk about the research that, you obviously use YouTube to do that channel, but you have to learn. Now, your career pathway, you were in the army, you were a technician for Xerox, and you've got your fingers in lots of pies. But did you have to do a course or the technology to do this? It can't have been easy. What did you have to do to make it happen?
There's a term that gets thrown around in the YouTube creator space of going to YouTube University, and basically it means watching a lot of YouTubers to learn how to do different things. Like my space was in photography, so I would go and shoot weddings and family portraits and corporate stuff, and astrophotography, obviously. But to be honest, I've never really recorded a video, and I didn't really know or understand frame rates and things like that. So I just went to YouTube and started finding some creators that I could connect with, if you like, as in the way that they were teaching and the way that I learn. And that's pretty much how YouTube works. You find someone that you can relate to and someone that you can understand, and you learn from those people. And I found a few of those, and went and started creating videos. Like these days, you can create a video with that. You don't need to have spectacular gear and lights and all that sort of whiz bang things.
But you have. Tell us what you've invested in to make this a success.
As far as investing, it would be, I don't know if you can actually see that there.
I can see a microphone, yes. There's
a couple of cameras that I use, but these cameras also double for the photography work that I do. Almost, I was looking what's behind me. Everything that's behind me on the wall has been companies who have asked me to review products. So this light that's right here is a review product. I've got 2 shelves over there that are just full of products that different companies have sent to me to say, can you do a video on this? So once I started establishing myself, I don't need to invest that much. Most of my investment has been in tools to learn. At the moment, I'm doing an online video course with a really big YouTuber, basically around storytelling. So I can, my space on YouTube is education, but I want to turn it into what they refer to as edutainment. So teaching people something and storytell something as well at the same time. I'm building that better. But learning that there's other tools that I use, like video editing tools, music. There's so much stuff that I invest in that's inside a computer with software tools than it is with the physical hardware stuff. Like this all looks pretty, but almost everything up on the shelf behind me has been given to me by a company to do a review on it. So
you're a celebrity, or you're sought after, your endorsement. So well done.
Yeah.
Now I've been to your farm. You're out of, now Cohuna has a population of what, 2,000 or
2.5?
So? Yep. So it's not a big town, up on the Gunbower Creek, beautiful place of the world. We encourage everyone to go, and a wonderful market coming up, Sunday market. You're out in a little farm, a little bit out of town. How do you go with connectivity? I mean, one thing having all the equipment, but you've got to upload all of this, and you do live streaming, all those sorts of things. Has that been an issue, or did you have to address it?
We're on the NBN here. We're on wireless NBN here. And when we purchased this house, so I'm from the Gold Coast, as you know, and I left the Gold Coast and I came down here, and we had virtually no internet, and it was driving me nuts. And when we bought this place, it was before NBN, and we came into here and we're looking at sheds and fencing and stuff because of the plan that we had with dairy goats. And all I was doing was looking at PowerPoint, looking at phone outlets and looking for an ADSL modem. That's all I was interested in, just so I had internet. But here now we've got the NBN, wireless NBN. We only really notice a difference pretty much at this time. Any holiday period is when we notice a difference, because a lot of people come to the town and a lot of people want to be on the internet, and the hose is only so thick. You can only take so much information, and when that many more people come in, then I notice a bit of a difference. But it's getting better now that people are starting to finish up holidays and go back to where their homes. No, it's pretty good. I'm glad this is going well. We're obviously not dropping out now. That's encouraging, because tomorrow morning I'm going live, so it'll work.
And look, it's just, I mean, I'm always highlighting you can do anything in rural areas. You just need to work around them, and obviously you choose your times when you do this kind of work if there are problems with the system. But yeah, that was interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how did you get all these subscribers? Where did these 50,000 people come from? Did you have to market yourself? I'm not a YouTube tuber. I've uploaded a few little videos. So you're talking to someone that's not really experienced in this area.
Sure. It comes, if anybody was to start a YouTube channel, I would say find a niche then niche down harder. And once you think you've got there, niche even harder and become the master at that niche. And that's what my advice would be. So for me, it was around, for me to have, for anyone who's not familiar with YouTube, getting 50,000 subscribers in the time space that we have here is pretty unusual. It's a pretty big achievement. And it's around knowing your craft, being relatable, being consistent. That's probably the most important part, is consistency. And in my case, it's really about community. So I started this channel with, so you can look at photography as a niche, and there are that many YouTubers out there who are doing photography. It's ridiculous. You're swimming in a massive pool of photographers. Then you go, well, I'm going to do photography about phones. And so it's niched a little bit harder. And there's still quite a few people out there doing that. But I can tell you now, there's only one person on YouTube who does astrophotography or low light photography with phones in almost every video that they do, and that's me, and I'm owning that space. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that. You could be a plumber, and that's your niche. But then you go, I want to be a plumber only on toilets. And you go, well, that's your niche. But I want to be a plumber with toilets who only talks about plungers, and you will own that space regardless of how big that pool is. So if you niche down hard enough, become the master at your craft, and be consistent, you will grow. And what happened, because I'm ex-army, I tend to swear a lot. I'm getting so much better at that. And I would start saying bloody a lot instead of swearing. So like the that advertising campaign that we did for tourism in Australia, where the bloody hell are you? Mm-hmm. So I will say bloody a lot. And I'll take a photo and I'll go, oh, that's bloody amazing. And people would start putting that in the comments on the videos of, you say bloody a lot. And I'd explain why it's better than saying the other stuff that I might say. And then I put this little blurb in the front of one of my videos of, I do 2 videos every week, and I haven't done it for a while. I don't normally promote myself in the videos now. I just put out good content. I used to say I do 2 videos each and every week, all about small sensor photography, generally in low light. So if you're into that sort of thing, subscribe to the channel and you'll be a legend, or something like that it was. And somebody said, don't you mean a bloody legend? And I was like, that mind blown. And that's what my community is called. They're called Bloody Legends. And I've got a Facebook group. It's a closed group just for those people who subscribe to the channel. We've only started that maybe 6 months ago, I think. And there's like 1,200 people on there. And it's probably the best photography community on Facebook. No one says, oh, you only got that because you got this camera or anything like that. They go, that's awesome. How did you do it? It's such a good community. And every time I go live now, I bring someone on with me. So I like tomorrow morning, I've got one of the people from that group. He's just a photographer he takes some great photos. He's from New Zealand. And before Christmas, I had, so every fortnight, I have someone from all over the world. Just before Christmas, I had a guy from the UK, Canada, where else? 2 guys from Australia. I can't think of, I feel bad now that I can't remember who else it was, but we all came on and we all just chatted about mobile photography. I've had the number 2, his employee is number 2 out of a company of 20,000 employees from Adobe. He's the second longest serving person in Adobe. He's been on my show just to talk mobile photography and editing photos and stuff. So community is everything. Community for me is everything. So if you were to start a YouTube channel right now, find a niche harder. When you think you're there, niche even harder, be consistent and build a community. You do that, it's a recipe for success.
It just happens. Wonderful. So there's a lot of time going into creating content. I know just, from my perspective of writing, which is my forte, the interviewing, the writing, the shaping, the promoting. YouTube, you talked about, it is a revenue for your stream, for your business, one of your revenue streams. Is it worthwhile?
Absolutely. It is a lot of work, but you are building a passive income. That's how it works. The most common question I get asked about YouTube is, how do you make money? And if you've watched a YouTube video that is a monetized video, there's an ad that runs or a number of ads that run. I, as a creator, get a clip of the ticket on any ad that runs on a video of mine. So there's no way to say this. The analytics, anyone that you talk to in what you do, Kerry, you'll see that any business owner likes data. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And I've been involved in a lot of things with Xerox, Kyocera, Canon, all different, IBM, and the management tools are ridiculously good. But I've never seen anything in my whole career as good as the analytics from YouTube. I can see what videos have done best when people are not watching videos anymore, when people go back and watch a little bit that they might have missed something. The analytics in YouTube is just incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And if you can read that and create content around that, you can make money from that. So it also goes with the seasons of the year. So building up towards Christmas, advertisers are throwing money at YouTube, and I'll obviously make more money. But right now, this month of January into February, you won't make as much money because they're not throwing as much money. Advertisers aren't spending as much money. But as those tentpole things happen through the year, like sort of mainly American. So most of my customers, viewers, are American, American and Canadian. So around Halloween, 4th of July, the NFL grand finals and things like that, Super Bowl, Christmas, all those things, Valentine's Day, all those things are tent poles, and advertisers throw money at that time of year. So right now, January, February, there's not much happening. Second half of February, we start kicking off again. But I will make, they base it on CPMs, like you get amount of money per 1,000 views on videos. So the more videos you have, the more money you make. Does that make sense?
And that video could be sitting there for years, but if it's
absolutely
accessed,
it
still creates So do you, with knowing your audience, and I loved how you're talking about community, everyone would have assumed you were talking about Cohuna community, but you're actually talking about your photography online YouTube community.
Yes.
And this fact that we are a global community, you find your tribe and and talk to them. So do you find that you create content any differently or schedule it any differently, knowing most of your customers are US based?
Yep, absolutely. Almost all of my videos I schedule to release at 2:00 in the morning, because that's when most of my viewers are on, or it's about an hour before they're on. So, and that's part of the analytics of YouTube. They tell you when your viewership is watching. So it's very, very cool for that. So I will make videos, upload them, and schedule them to release an hour before that peak time, so that it'll appear in their suggested videos. People will watch it, and that's just the way the algorithm works. The more of your immediate core audience watches, the more it will suggest to more people. That's just how it works. So I definitely play to that global audience. I go live at 6:00 in the morning here on a Saturday morning. No one here is watching YouTube at 6:00 in the morning in Cohuna, but my audience around the world is watching at that time of day. Yeah, definitely
wonderful. You're paying attention to the back end analytics. It's really important. So you've given us a lot of advice already. Is there any other piece of advice you'd give to someone that hasn't been mentioned as yet?
For YouTube specifically?
Yeah.
I would say don't rely on the money. As much as I've just told you then, that's how you make your money. Like AdSense revenue, that's what it's called, is only one aspect of money from YouTube. So I'll make money from AdSense. I make money from presets. So I've got a website to back up what I'm doing on YouTube. It's phonephotoschool.com.au. Actually, if you just went to ShayneMostyn.com, you'll get to the same place. And there you'll find a lot of the YouTube stuff that I do anyway. It's embedded into that website. There are presets there. So, you take a photo on your phone, put it into Snapseed or Lightroom, and a preset is like a one-touch button edit on that photo. So I've created those and I sell them, and they're cheap as chips. They're like $5 for a set, and every day they're getting sold all over the world. So that's another way that I bring income, and I've sold a few hundred of those. It's probably more than 1,000 of those now, all over the world. I'll get emails saying someone from Alberta, Canada just bought this, or somebody from Uruguay just bought this, and it's amazing. I used to have a map on the wall with little pins all over it, but there was just too many bloody pins. They were going everywhere. But that's two ways to make money. And the third way that I make money, actually there's four ways. The third way would be the affiliate marketing. So I say, you like what I'm doing here? See these two lights right here? You can buy them. The link's in the description. I'll get a clip of that. I'll get a commission on that. And that happens for every video. So and the way I've done that is I'll go and look at where my viewers are, and I'll say the US, Canada, UK, Germany, well, they're the top ones initially, and I'll go and set up Amazon affiliates in those countries. And then I set up, this sounds weird, I'll then go and set up an offshore bank account for all those to pay into. Then I bring that money home that way, because they don't do it straight into your bank account. It's a weird way to do it, but you've got to know how to do that stuff. So there's a lot of research in that. And the fourth way then is doing education away from YouTube. So a couple of people have asked me to go and run seminars, or to speak at seminars about what I do, and I get paid for that as well. So there's multiple ways. Don't ever rely, if that's another bit of advice, don't ever rely on that one source of income. Put it out there everywhere, because that fluctuates, and it's important to keep all bases covered, I guess.
Very good advice. And obviously you had some other good advice when I interviewed you back in 2017, but lovely to hear about what you've been doing the last couple of years and how successful it's been for you. Yes, we don't ever put our eggs in the one basket, but this sounds like it was not quite a golden egg, but it's doing okay for you. So
it's doing well.
Well done. Thank you for sharing your ideas and story, the continuing journey. We never stop, do we? Businesses are always continuing. So yes, Shayne Mostyn Photography. You can see the name, Shayne with a Y, and check it out if you're interested.